Thank you so much for tuning in to AfriWoman Chats. My name is Tchiyiwe Chihana. This is the 5th of March. It's a Thursday, and we are broadcasting to you live from Sheffield. My very first guest is Linda. Linda will tell us a little bit more about her, but maybe should I try, Linda, before you even speak? Can you click like the way Miriam Makeba clicks?
Yeah. Yes, I can.
You can. So what is she saying with the initial clicks?
Igricha is a doctor. So
right.
the doctor. I don't know all of it because it's quite an old song as well.
It is very old,
it's
yeah.
Proper Tosa.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to say it, I'm going to add up and it might be wrong what I'm saying, but it's my understanding.
But that one word at least you get.
I know that word because I was a nurse before, so I worked in hospitals. And
I didn't know that. See, we haven't even started, and now I'm learning a little bit more about you. Okay, so you worked in a hospital where you had COSA patients? Or?
Yeah. I'm from East London in Eastern Cape province, and I trained at one of the referral hospital, which was a big hospital, and we had all the patients coming from the smaller places.
Okay.
So we were forced to understand, because of you want to help people. Yeah. And then when you don't know what they're saying, you're not really helping because most of the doctors at that point in time were not Xhosa speaking. They were either English or Afrikaans. Okay. So we act as interpreters as well.
Right. Mm-hmm. So there was going to be a follow-on question that I was going to ask, but I'll ask you a bit later about that, about the English Afrikaans in the hospitals. But good morning, everybody. You're tuned into African Voices platform. Hopefully you're with us on DAB, but if you can't join us on DAB, join us on our website on africanvoicesplatform.org from anywhere around the world. DAB for South Yorkshire residents. This is Sheffield, and we are tuning in with Linda Cassels. Now, Linda's work sits at the intersection of art, politics, and lived experience of our times. And through painting and performance, she explores themes of social inequality, political tension, and what it means to be a human in a period marked by economic strain and uncertainty. Her work responds directly to the emotional and material realities shaping everyday life today, from the cost of living crisis and austerity to the social aftershocks of Brexit and the pandemic. Linda, welcome to African Voices platform.
Hi.
Linda, how do you pronounce your surname actually?
Cassels.
Cassels, not Cassels.
Yeah.
See? Yeah. Cassels. It's good you're here to say that.
Yeah.
Shall we start from let's start from the beginning. With your practice as a whole, how would you describe the central questions that drive your work as an artist?
Understanding my practice is more about understanding the world as well as I started late in art, the last 7 years or so. Mm-hmm. I've never really thought about art at all before. So me entering the world of art, I saw it as an opportunity to record our experiences. Art, I think, sits in as an artist, you have the opportunity to document our lived experience as humanity. Yeah. Sometimes this gets lost when it comes to color or race, and especially with how our art is presented, like in an academic way. My personal experience is when I started art, I didn't know zero, so I had to start from the bottom. But it was like, not that I rejected being
told. When you say you didn't know zero, you mean you would consume art, you would go to see art, or did you? So it was just you doing it yourself. You started from zero.
Started from zero. Yeah. I knew about art and galleries and that, but it wasn't something that I grew up with.
Okay, right.
So it was like a big step for me to step into this world of art and expressing who I am.
Yeah.
So for me, it is a point of documenting my existence, as well as the existence of others within the frame.
I'll just put some music back on for that.
From the streets of Sheffield to your radio worldwide, African Voices Radio brings you every beat, story, and conversation of our African diaspora and family. Tune in on DAB, online, or in your car. We're your community, your culture, your connection. For inquiries, adverts, or to sponsor, email us on radio@africanvoicesplatform.org or visit our website. African Voices Radio, amplifying our stories, connecting our communities.
Linda, you were just explaining to our audiences how you came into art. So you're saying it's only within the last 7 years that you decided to practice it. You were just a consumer before.
Yes, yeah. So with my personal history, I have lots of gaps about my genealogy, where I'm from. I don't know my mother. So part of that was, and also it was like the erasure of people's... I come from a segregated country, right? Yeah. And within the segregation, one of the main things that they used was like to erase where you're from. My parents, they don't know their grandfathers, so their history line is incomplete, which make my history line incomplete. And it's that opportunity that I saw that, you know, by doing this, I can explore more into what it feels like to be visible but not visible. You know, you are seen but invisible. The same goes for, I'm sure any black person can relate to this, is sometimes you are, especially when you're the minority in a majority white area, you feel people, they see you but they don't see you, and they don't understand who you are or where you're from, you know, what you believe in. So for me, art helps me explore this avenue of being seen and not seeing my body in a physical space, but also feeling like I don't belong in that space.
Right. So just for context for those listening in, Linda is a Sheffield-based artist whose heritage is from South Africa, and the system there is apartheid that kind of got you to a place where you're saying that these lost generations, lost narratives about who you are, your grandparents and stuff, and so it was reclaiming back an identity of your own, maybe coming out, I don't know, that's quite strong. I didn't realize that, Linda, but thanks for sharing that. Yeah,
it's not something you talk about easily. But it is something that is it's very common in South Africa. I can only speak of South Africa because that is, you know, where I'm from, and my lived experience growing up was there. And almost everyone has a similar story. Because of the apartheid system and how it was. People were displaced. They were moved from where they were when the settlers moved into South Africa, people were already settled there. So they were moved out, and at the beginning of apartheid, 1963, they had these acts that depicted where people will be living and how they'll be associating with each other. So that meant all the best areas within the country were occupied by the settlers, and we got moved back further back into the country.
And these were large portions of land, right?
Yes, very big. So you carry all of those histories, and within my practice, I understand my body as an archive. So everything that I have experienced, whether it be through myself, my own lived experience, or the other, like family or friends or the community that I was in, it remains with me. Absolutely. As a child, well, not really a child, I was a teenager when we were living in the state of emergency. So children like myself, we became used to the fact of seeing these big machinery, guns and war trucks. I don't know what
coming into your neighborhood.
Yeah. They were there day in and day out. So that is my memory of being a child.
Right.
Yeah. So all of those things, I feel, if it's not documented, what I experienced, because
how you experienced it, how you saw it.
That is part of the reason why I am doing what I'm doing. And it's just to make a note, because the history that we were taught as well was always centered around the Western world. It was never history from our perspective. So it is documenting or readdressing issues and how it was presented in the past.
So you address with your art, you address politics in that sense, economy as well. But I think I'm feeling where that all, when you say your body as an archive, so it's your whole being that is presented. What was your first piece of work 7 years ago that said, this is how I'm going to express what I understand, how I manifest this body as an archive?
Yes, I've always known about Sarah Baartman. What I did not know, coming from South Africa, living in South Africa, was growing up. When they were like sort of insulting you, they'll say they call you Sarki Baartman because of the
butt.
What she was depicted as. So when I started researching, I realized, or I discovered that she was born in 1795, and to me it felt like, the way we were talking about her within our communities in South Africa, it was like she was born 50 years ago. Yet she was hundreds of years ago. So I made a performance about that, as well as I had at the same time when I was doing Sarki Baartman, researching upon Sarki Baartman, that Kim Kardashian photograph came out in the newspapers, where she broke the record when she first had a butt lift or whatever. And they were comparing her with Sarki Baartman.
Did they really?
Yeah, there's a picture.
Wow. Sarki Baartman, for those that don't know, so you can say it the Afrikaans way, which I don't know how to say. Linda's just been saying it.
Sarki.
Or I would say the English way, Sarah Baartman. She was taken into slavery because of her body proportions, and she was put on exhibitions here in Europe. Was it France? Where was she?
She first came to England.
First,
and then she was exhibited for 3 years alive here. But that was, they say, it was her choice. Then she traveled.
It was her choice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
She was uprooted. How was it her choice?
I know. So she lived 3 years in London, and she traveled. It's written that she went to Brighton as well as Manchester. She was baptized in Manchester Church, but I've not.
But she was still being exhibited.
Yeah. She was alive. Then she went to France and Paris, where she was exhibited, and then she was working under a ringmaster. They were exhibiting her with animals.
In
alive,
a circus time?
Sort of, yeah.
Dear.
And up until when she died 1815. She must have been about 32 years old when she died. And then they took her body and exhibited her in the Museum of Mankind in France, where she was like an object. Her body was an object then, and people came to see her up until 1979 when women
1979
that's when the women protested against the human bodies being exhibited as objects. They took her body and put her in an archive, so that's like an archive into an archive, the way I see it or understand it. And she was so she was there until 2002 when Mandela was like Prime Minister of South Africa, and he had to negotiate with France to be able to get the body. It took them a few years to release the body because the implications of her being given back to South Africa for a body to be buried meant that they had to change laws. And the reason why they didn't want to, it meant that every other object that they have that does not belong to them, they
like
will have to give back.
What's happening now?
Exactly.
Where artifacts are being sent back
So they wrote out a law. They made a new law to be able to take her body, and there was an Aboriginal from New Zealand, I think,
as well,
that went at the same time. went back home.
And is Saartjie Baartman now buried now in South Africa?
Yeah.
Was her heritage in the Eastern Cape?
Yes,
That's
she
what I
was
think I
from
remember.
Henkie, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So that's close to where you're from as well,
Yes, yeah, it's about 3 hours drive, 4 hours drive.
right?
So it's not too
Okay.
far.
So it's it's that realization of how long ago, long ago contextually speaking to your life, that she existed, but the fact that her name was constantly being used more as victimization.
Yeah.
And so your art also, because
Addresses that.
So you okay. So what did you do then, Savinia, with Saartjie Baartman's story?
I think I just documented. It's something that I still want to explore more.
Okay.
Because for one, it's documented in a book somewhere that she signed permission. At the same time, when Saartjie Baartman was here in England, was when the abolitionists were, really involved in wanting to end slavery. And it's written that they approached her and she actually had to go to court to prove that she is in England out of her own will.
Okay.
And the way, she's never been to school. She didn't go to school. Writing a book that someone else has written is subjective to that person.
Totally, yeah.
So I feel like for someone at 21, because this is what's driven me to look more into a life. I was comparing my life when I was 21.
Yeah.
Why would I leave my whole family? Although she didn't have family. She both her parents died. She was married and her husband was also killed during the border wars.
You see how you humanize Saartjie. I'm so glad, because I learned of Saartjie Baartman in books.
Yeah.
I did not even know Saartjie Baartman had a husband. Now you're telling me.
She was married and she had a child that died before she came. Then she moved from Henkie. She went to Cape Town to find work. And this is where the Scottish Navy captain saw her, because during their break or when she's not working, she used to go to the hospitals and where these soldiers were recuperating, and then she would entertain them, playing or dancing, singing and dancing for them. And he got this idea that he'll make money, because at that point across Europe they had freak shows where they, people that didn't look like normal or normal to the Western body, were exhibited as spectacles.
Right.
Yeah. With her, there's I went to the British Museum and found some lithographs, which are little prints of her being depicted with, such in a cruel way that there's a one.
In, this is you today, as in you went to the British, and those are there right now as we speak.
Yeah, they're there.
Right.
There's about 10 of it.
Lithograph.
Yeah, lithographs showing her. In one of them, they compare to the three graces, and then she's like.
They compare to the three
graces.
What are the three graces?
It's muses.
Right.
Yeah, and within Western history, there is a certain aesthetic.
Yes, absolutely.
That is considered beautiful.
Beautiful. Yeah.
So when you on the outside, you placed as the other.
And so she's othered against these three.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what's driving me. I was saying about the reason why I wanted to explore more into her life is one, the legality of it, what they were doing. Two, is putting myself in her shoes. How would I even think about getting people to look at me for money? Being almost naked, because that's what they did. They wanted to
What agency did she have, really?
Exactly,
and what did she understand about what she was signing, if she did, really?
Yeah.
So you're tuned into AfriWoman Chats here on African Voices Platform Radio. My guest today is Linda Cassels, Cassels, who is a South African contemporary visual artist based right here in Sheffield. We're talking about her work and also how she got here. Some of the things we've covered, in case you missed this, is Saki Batman as an influence to the work. Saki Batman's experiences, and then we also talked about the apartheid system. But we'll be speaking a little bit more with Linda, and let's just play this song. I think we've just traveled all the way to Rwanda with that song. I think, is it Nakuvura featuring Kevin Ska, Riderman. This is Tchiyiwe Chihana on African Voices Platform Radio, and you are tuned in to AfriWoman Chats, where my guest this morning, my 9 o'clock guest, is Linda Cassels, who is a South African contemporary visual artist that I'm speaking to. Before I proceed with Linda, just to remind you that this is International Women's Month, and that the Bloom L Network is going to be hosting an event on the 14th of April at the workstation. So if you go to Bloom L, they've got a fantastic lineup of speakers. The host is my dearest friend, BBC Radio Sheffield presenter Sila Sivanda. One of the leading guests there is Councillor Safia Said, who is the Lord Mayor of Sheffield. We also have the Lord Mayor of Rotherham. It's crazy. It's such a powerful lineup. But also somebody whom I've really grown to admire and respect, Buki Oshin, who is the Deputy CEO of Sheffield Theatres, will be speaking. The Chief Executive of Sheffield's Chamber of Commerce, Louisa Harrison Walker, will be speaking as well. Then from the African Heritage Cultural Forum, we've got Sonia Gale. And lastly, we are also going to have Rose Davis from Green Estate. So it's a powerful lineup. It's being hosted by Bloom L right here in the building where African Voices Platform Radio is, in the workstation downstairs in the Creative Lounge. So just check them out on Bloom L. But let's go back to Linda. Welcome back, Linda.
Thank you.
So brilliant. I learned so much from you about the genesis and our shared history of, you're South African, I studied in Cape Town. So there's some resonance for me because I recognize some of the tensions that you grew up around. More as a post-apartheid period for me. So I came into South Africa in 2001. So that's...
things were a bit looser then.
Things were just starting to loosen up, but you could... the segregation was still palpable, even in some areas now when I go to South Africa.
Yeah, it is, and that is due to the inequality. I think that's the most worrying thing for me. 30 years ago we thought we'd be somewhere else, but it seems not to be getting there.
It's not getting there.
Doesn't look like it, no.
The structures and systems are
falling apart. To be honest. My daughter lives in East London, where I'm from, and for the last week, out of 7 days, 3 days they didn't have any water. And this is all due to mismanagement of staff.
And this is a place where you've had water all these years. So
it was never an issue.
So it's maintenance, management of resources.
Services are not, they're not maintaining. Even if you just maintain the bit you have, if there's no money to expend, but maintain the little bit, no. We fail on that. But there's hope, because there are young people now that are really hot and firing up to want to make change and see change, which is encouraging. So it's not all lost. I was in Johannesburg in November. I think I got inducted into theatre properly when I was a student in Cape Town because of the Artscape as well as Baxter Theatre. But I should say, in comparison to Zambia, where I'm from, the art scene there seems to be better financed. And I know you didn't start your artistic journey there, but you became an artist here. Would you do exhibitions in South Africa now, that you've become an artist? I would love to, but it's very competitive.
It is,
Like everywhere else, it's hard to get in. Sometimes it feels like there's a bit of gatekeeping. You have to know certain people.
Who you know.
Yeah. And in that way, I think that's probably one of the reasons our parents never really saw a future in art. But I don't want to discourage anyone. Since I've been doing art, I've learned so much about myself. You know, when I started it, I thought I was just going to learn how to paint and draw. But it's not that. There's so much research you do because when you're creating work, you want it to speak. On its own. It must be something that has life within itself. So to do that, you have to know what you want to say with the work, and so people would. My main objective by making art is also like addressing. Where I come from, we didn't have an art gallery. Growing up, there was an art gallery. There still is one.
Which town in the Eastern Cape is your
East
town?
London.
Oh, you're from East London. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there is an art gallery, but it's open only like 3 days a week, and that was in the white areas, previously known white areas at that point. And it costs finances. You have the money to go there, blah blah. So it wasn't something we did, but things are changing now because although I am from what we call a township, which is like maybe
a high density area in that context.
So there's more transport readily available to take the young people where they want to be or they need to be, and they are more involved now. Even the school system, they are including art. And culture within the curriculum.
Noticed too, now that you say that, and this is also similar for Zambia, that pop-up art is something that's happening at neighborhoods level as well. So you find young people just doing their own painting, interpretation of whatever. They're not going into the galleries because, as you said, it's competitive. But people are slowly starting to go to them to get something that is authentically from the community. I would like to see the growth of that, a little bit more of that.
And that will widen the scope because we all have a story to tell.
Absolutely.
Every single person on this earth. I think that is important. If you don't tell your own story, when someone other tells it,
they don't tell it.
They only take the bit they want and neglect the rest of it.
Absolutely. Linda, so am I correct to think that you took it a step further and actually went to Sheffield Hallam University specifically for art? Could you talk us a little bit about that, through that?
Yeah, that was a leap of faith.
I love that. Leap of faith, like study.
In 2018, I had to re-register at the NMC, which is the Nursing and Midwifery Council. And we have to do that every 3 years.
Did you come as a nurse? Because I know you were a nurse in South Africa, but did you come as a nurse here?
Yeah, that's how I came.
So you re-register. You had to re-register with the Nursing Council.
You have to prove your competency every 3 years with the nursing and to stay on the register.
Here in the UK.
So when it came to that point, and I felt like my work experience, I loved the work that I did, but the experience of, the possibility of growing to another level was very limited because we were all of similar age within that sphere. So there was no up movement for me there. And I have a nature that I want to learn something new every now and then. And I became a bit agitated with how my life is turning out. So I decided that I won't re-register.
Leap of faith for real.
Jump. And I'll find something to do. But then I decided that because my youngest daughter, she was doing art in school, and I was looking at what she was doing, and I got that feeling for it, and I thought, maybe I can do this. So I went. I applied I resigned in May, applied to Rotherham College for the Access course. And I did that. And they guided me a little bit more, how to navigate my path. the academical path, and then the next year I started at Hallam University.
At undergraduate level,
Yeah,
Okay.
And then I did last year, 2024. I've completed my MA in art.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What was the undergraduate degree? That was art as well.
Yeah, all of it was fine art.
Fine art. Look at you. I'm loving this. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you finished your MA in fine art last year.
24.
24. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Linda.
Yeah. It was the first thing in my whole life that I decided for myself. That's what I wanted to do, and I'm going to do it.
Who decided the nursing part for you?
Circumstances.
Okay. So this one is, you had choice. It was decision making. Okay.
Yeah. And I feel very proud for having achieved that, because within my siblings, I am the only one that managed to get a degree. Because of how we lived. Considering my sister, she is 76 this year,
bless.
and I'm the youngest.
Oh.
So in that way, I was protected by them. But it was also taking agency of myself, because growing up, you are told by your parents, this is what you're doing, or that's not what you're doing, and that's how. Although I loved nursing, I would not have chosen it for myself, I don't think.
Yeah.
But it got me where I am right now. I am a strong believer in destiny, and there's a higher power that decides our movement or how we negotiate life.
It's interesting. I have never had this conversation with you, because when I met you, and I think it was around about 2019, I know it was close to pandemic times, and we were just getting into the Black Artists Collective. That's where we were starting out.
Yeah.
I had never imagined that you had been a medical person. I thought you've always struck me as a creative, so I just thought that's what you've been all your life. No. Right, so let's talk about, so you finished your MA, but what came first? The MA itself, or your work, which extends into one of the most celebrated pieces of art that you do is called, is with the red box, which involves the red box, which is titled Quid Pro Quo. Yeah. What came first, and what is Quid Pro Quo for those that haven't experienced it?
Okay. Quid Pro Quo is interpreted as something for something. And the Quid Pro Quo is used very often within political spheres.
And legal systems.
Yes, What drew my attention to this was in 2019 when Trump came on, became president of America. That was his behavior with, I want this, and we will do that for you. So it was never just doing. And that made me question what the functions of the United Nations is, or about peacekeeping and making sure that we have the... Let me first explain what the United Nations is. The United Nations was formed after the Second World War.
I think 1964?
No, 54.
54, sorry,
And it has three main areas that I'm interested in. One is the Security Council, and the other one is the UNESCO. And the Security Council, as it says, it looks after peace, and they deploy people. They set sanctions against countries that are not working within the frames of world peace. Trump, or the way politics is right now, it feels like the United Nations is an afterthought.
By the way, kind of like, by the way, there's the UN.
Yeah. And I feel it, I'm sorry to say this, but there's this disdain, I think, that especially in this now, the times we're living in, is that our members of parliament or governments, they don't see the people as the people who have the power. They see us, their subjects, as if they are king and we are the peasants. That's how I understand what's happening right now. So we as people don't have any problems, or we don't have any say, sorry. Whereas all the power comes from the top. Whereas in reality, democracy dictates free and fair elections. We, the people, make the decisions as to who we want to sit over us, but that is all thrown out.
It's thrown out, there's a lot of disregard, but there's also a lot of undermining of the functions of the United Nations.
Exactly, so that's where we come with the Quid Pro Quo is a performance that I do to highlight maybe the inequities that is happening right now, because you're not seen by the government as being important for them to function.
How does Quid Pro Quo play out to express this? I know I've seen you with a red case. And
the red box is mimicking Budget Day.
Budget Day for the United Kingdom,
where they go every year. I think she had.
So this is the Chancellor now. So
come out with the box and shows it, and inside the box, I'm made to understand is the budget statement that she goes and delivers later. He or she goes and delivers later in Parliament to Parliament. So it is that performance showing the people this is what we have decided we're going to do. And then when they do make it, announce it, it's never helpful to the people. There's always a set of people that are overseen or overlooked. There's always discrepancy to, not so long ago it was the people who are on benefits. One of the talks was that Keir Starmer was saying, even Richie Sunak, Theresa May, when Theresa May was Minister of Home Affairs, she was involved in the making I forgot the phrase is slipped my mind now, but what it meant was she had to do with immigrations and immigration policies, and creating a hostile environment. That is the phrase.
Hostile environment.
So all of these things are making you feel as if the only time they want to associate with you, not associate really, acknowledge your presence, is when it's got to do with money and what they are going to say about what they want to do with this money. Whereas we all contribute into the system.
Into the system, into the pot,
exactly. So it's highlighting the power display.
So when you, I don't know whether you walk around with it, but I've seen you stood. And people move around you. They just, that's a powerful display. I mean, it's very powerful. So what are you expressing there? Like you're showing the power of the disproportionate power that politicians hold?
Yes, that, and also the other body within that, because if you look at Parliament and its representation, I know there's more women now in Parliament than what there was in the past, but it's still not reflecting the black people or the people of color proportionate to what is there. But then you can also talk about meritocracy, which is but it's I don't know. Sometimes I feel.
I think it's that thing you were starting to talk about earlier about it's who you know, because even those people who are of color that would be able to do the job, it's how they even get access to start with. I think the systems are against even getting a foot in the door, isn't it?
Exactly.
That's what you're saying.
Exactly.
How do people generally respond to Quid Pro Quo? What would you like to hear from audiences when you're doing that one?
I want them to speak out, not speak out or talk amongst ourselves, but we need to come together as a community and have dialogue and voice our grievances in any form, but as as a group of people. You know, I might be scared to speak up.
But the
fear.
power in the group
Exactly, sets you free and you're able to let it out. I think a lot of the tension that we're having is people have all these problems, social problems, but they feel like even if they said anything, nothing will change. Yes, in some instances that is true, because very little change, but then we must also keep in mind that it is a system, and systems take time to change, but we must be willing to do the work to make them understand. Audre Lorde has a saying where she talks about the master's tools will never break the master's house. Which means you have to change the way we do business to be able to make a change. So we change the method we use, we interrupt what they're doing so they can stop and think.
All right, you've just invoked Audre Lorde. God, there's so many directions we could take that question, but let's stick with the plan. Stick with the plan. So for listeners who may not regularly visit galleries or contemporary art spaces, how would you invite them into this conversation, and what's the best way to approach work like yours?
Because I work on both platforms, I work within the gallery space as well as public appearances. Just being involved when you see an artist out there on the street, you know, doing a performance, or ask. I know the reason why a lot of people don't really go into galleries is because it looks so elite and exclusive. And they feel that they won't understand what's on the walls because there's a certain attitude that people who go to galleries have, like they look very academical and very intimidating as well. But it's the reason why artists make work is to speak to people. Yes, some of it is not attainable because it's set within a space or within a price bracket, but every artist wants everyone actually, not anyone, because there is the thing that what you like is not necessarily what I will like, but even you can, as if you look long and hard at a painting, there will be something that talks to you. It could be the color, or it could be like the tiniest little detail that is on that painting. When you go into a gallery, just take your time, look at it. Look with your own understanding, you know, what you're seeing. Because even the artists themselves don't always know what they're making. It starts off as a thing, and then by titling it, it becomes a narrative. But my life experience is different, so whatever I look at, I interpret differently.
Absolutely. So everybody has their take on something, but the artist will always want to engage. That's why they make the art.
Exactly.
So there's something powerful in the way your personal work holds both discomfort as well as beauty at the same time. How do you strike that balance so people stay with the work rather than turning away? In your case, it's uncomfortable in the sense that it's very much stuck. Like, this is a situation. Look at it. You do that. It
is, because this is how I feel. If you don't, if you're not honest, I think it's about being honest and just saying it as you see it, and that will give dialogue in life is very important. And for as much as we try to mitigate how people understand who we are, what we are, art has that ability to just open it up. It's like you take a book and you just open it up and it falls at any page. And within that page, you will find the reason for you to look at it. Some of the work, I've been told, could be considered confrontational. I wouldn't say it is confrontational. It is just stating the obvious.
Mirror.
Exactly. It's a reflection of who you are, how you interpret whatever work that is, and the point of making work is so it affects someone.
I mean, you're doing great work, and it's really lovely to have you on African Voices platform. I hope we do have you back soon, and maybe we could show some of your actual paintings. But I wondered if people do want to see your work, do you have a website, Instagram, or where do they go?
I've got a website, but that is more focused on my performance practice. And then I post a lot of the paintings on my Instagram, which is Linda Cassels Gallery.
So that's Linda Cassels, and Cassels is spelled Cassels Gallery. Linda Cassels Gallery.
At Instagram.
On Instagram.
And the same for my website.
Okay.
A lot of the work.
If people want to get that art, since the website is more performance, but if they want to purchase, for example, your paintings, how do they do that?
If you want to buy, you could contact me on Instagram. I think that's the more accessible part. If you DM me, I will get back to you. I'm also currently working in the studios, Haifa Studios in Sheffield, in Woodhouse,
nice.
which is a free space that's offered to artists. And I've got a lot of work in there too. So if you wanted to come and see my work...
If they want to see your work, they can come to... Exactly. What's the name of the studio in Woodhouse?
Where Wilco's used to be.
Oh, yeah,
Wilkinson's.
yeah.
It's there.
In Woodhouse.
No, not Woodhouse. Hillsborough.
In Hillsborough. Okay, so that's the former Wilco in Hillsborough. It's now a studio. It's a makeshift studio?
Yes,
Okay.
The ground floor is a drawing shop, which is open to the public, but from Tuesday to Saturday. And you can come in and draw. It's free.
Oh, right.
And upstairs we are on the second floor. The studio's on the second floor in the same building.
And so your work is there on full display.
Yeah.
Great. I'm glad to know that. I might just pop round. Linda, thank you so much for joining us today on AfriWoman Chats on African Voices platform radio. It's been lovely having you.
Thank you very much.
Good.